Hello friends, this is Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming, and welcome to my channel today. I'm here with a garden update. I haven't done one in a few weeks, so I wanted to go ahead and give you one since it's the pretty much still the 1st of August. And what I'm showing you here is I had told you about some flowers that I dried from my garden. This is the periwinkle. And I have it here in this journal as a little, really an embellishment, I guess you could call it, in this journal that I made. And then this is the periwinkle. This one has some leaves on it. So the periwinkle, as you can see, has more color. They're both the same age. I put them in the book to be dried and flattened. I guess about 4 weeks ago, maybe more. So this is what they look like now after 4 or so weeks. And periwinkle actually has, is really pretty with the color. And the impatient, I think, is cool too. It just looks older even though it's the same age. So I wanted to show you that real quick, and then we'll go out to my garden. Here's a peek at the What's happening? Why isn't it? Here's a peek at the, I'm not sure what my camera's doing here. Here's a peek at the thermometer. It's really hot this afternoon. It was nice this morning. We went on a hike and it wasn't even hot at all. Now it just has skyrocketed to almost 100 degrees here. So what we did on our hike was collect rocks, and I'm going to show you. This is from my rock border that I was working on, and I was having trouble finding rocks. And it poured down rain, for 2 days this week. And there's a creek in the back, so it must have washed up and washed out some rocks. This is the border that I'm working on. But as I showed you before, I've got all this way to go. So here's what I found, or here's what we found today and collected and brought back. It's a heavy load. And there's more rocks back there by the creek, but we think this might do the trick. So I'm going to be putting these rocks out on my border. And then we'll just take a walk over here. Everything here is doing good. The hostas, impatient, that one's not doing so good, but all these down here are doing quite well. Right now they're a little wilty. They're like, this one's a little wilty from the sun this afternoon, but it'll spring back up. This one doing well, and it's got a lot of buds. That one also. And my little mailbox impatient here, doing very well after the rain this week. Has some blooms and some buds. And over here, I've got another impatient in this bucket. This one's still doing well. And so we'll just head over here, give you an update on all my veggies. The squash, here's the bed of the yellow squash, and everything has grown out of the bed. So there's some over there, and all of this is yellow squash right here. All of this, all yellow squash, all grown outside the bed. In between these two beds, there's one there. And this is where my big zucchini was. My big zucchini's on its last leg here. It's laying down, probably about ready to be taken out. And my cucumbers have grown out and around here. So this part is still looking good and producing cucumbers. I picked a lot of veggies in the few weeks that I haven't filmed. But there's a cucumber still growing there. And everything's doing well over here along the house. Hostas and impatiens. I was going to show you a few weeks ago, I had only gotten about 3 yellow squash, but I've gotten several since then, so I'm happy with that. I will attempt to grow them again this year or next year. And these flowers still trying to produce some yellow squash here all over there and everything too. So So doing really well. And we'll go over and check out my tomatoes. These zucchini never did produce any zucchini. They're still alive, but I'll probably plant flowers next year. This impatient is a little wilty in the sun, the hot sun this afternoon, but it will spring back up. These guys love the sun, my periwinkles. As you can see, they're still blooming and doing well. And my coneflowers have been blooming constantly. And I was discovering on my last video that these spiky centers of the coneflower are seeds. Several of the flowers that have already died, I saved the center pods here and let them dry out. And I've got seeds saved inside the house for next year. So I'll have these for pink coneflowers. And then I've got some white. I've got a white pod also where I'll save those for next year and hopefully have some white coneflowers. This guy up here is doing great. Got some new blooms here and buds. So he's doing great up here in my bucket. This impatient, I don't know if you remember, but it was doing well on half of it, and the other half looked kind of wilty and dried up. Not dried up, but just it didn't have many leaves or flowers. And then I turned it around and left it right, turned around in this position so the other side could get whatever the other side wasn't getting, if you know what I mean. So then it just spread back out and looks great now. So it is just full of blooms and buds and doing real well. So this is a pretty salmon color. So I just love these. Tomatoes, still producing tomatoes. I've pulled, through the weeks, have pulled a lot of the brown leaves off or cut them off. But as you can see, I have probably 10 tomatoes in my windowsill in the kitchen, finishing ripening. I pulled those off just yesterday, and I've just been pulling off tomatoes constantly, especially on the weekends, but sometimes I come out here and catch up during the week in the evenings. But just have pulled off a lot of these brown leaves like this here and this one here. I kind of just been pulling those off to help them. I mean, they look better, and hopefully it helps them not, those just dead branches not to be draining the plant. Hopefully that's my thoughts on it anyway. So you see I've got some starting to turn here, so I've got more to pick today and take inside, but I even have some yellow flowers still here. So I don't know how long these will last, but I let my tomatoes go. I mean, one year they went into all the way, I think, through September and into October, and I just let them go until they're done. I don't pull them out, at the end of August or anything. I just let them go till they're done, and then I pull them out. So we'll come back and I'll shoot a video maybe of the cleanup or after the cleanup, show you what I do to get ready for next year. But just lots of tomatoes still. So these were 6 tomato plants, and it produced plenty of tomatoes for us. So I usually plant 8, but I'll stick to 6 from now on, because this little bed here, it probably doesn't need any more than 6 anyway, and I'm thinking of putting some new garden soil on top of the soil I have for next year, just to fill up these beds and just have some fresh soil. So we'll see how we do next year, but I'm really happy with how everything went this year, and can't wait for another year. I'm going to show you one more new plant. My little lights that I showed in my last video are doing great. They look so cute and pretty out here at night when I come out here and look at my garden. Just nice and twinkly. But I got this, I've been wanting one, and these were, I found these at Home Depot at a decent price, and this is hens and chicks. So I put it down here with my other little like sedums and things here. I thought it went well with these, and maybe it'll grow out over the rocks. And then also you can take these little, you know, I guess the chicks that are sprouting off from the main plant, and plant those and then have some more plants. So that's the goal. So we'll see how we do with that. But and my moss, I don't know if I've talked much about it, but my moss grows over here. I've never planted. This is all natural growing moss, and I make sure when I'm killing weeds and things that I don't spray my moss. So I've got it here, and you can see it's nice and green and pretty, especially after the rains this week. And it grows out over into the path here. And I've got, let me turn you around. I see that you're a little zoomed in. Let me zoom you back out. I think I'm pushing a button. Let me zoom you out. There you go. Sorry, I was pushing a button by mistake. But I've got a lot of moss over here too, in the path, and over here. So I just let all my moss grow because I think it's cool and I love it and it's pretty. So why not have some moss in my shade garden over here? So pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, that's it for this week. Everyone have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.